In 1992, Hollywood lost its legendary Rifleman, but Chuck Connors left behind more than just a TV show. From his secret role in Cold War diplomacy to shocking affairs that nearly ruined his career, Connors lived a life as dramatic as any Western. Now, 30 years later, the truth finally emerges: how a Brooklyn baseball player became a Soviet hero, why his 3 marriages ended in scandal, and the dark secret he kept until his final days. Chuck Connors was born Kevin Joseph Aloysius Connors on April 10, 1921, in Brooklyn, New York. His parents, Alan and Marcella Connors, were Irish immigrants who worked hard to provide for their family during the tough times of the Great Depression. Chuck's father worked as a longshoreman, while his mother took on small jobs to help make ends meet. Life wasn't easy, but it taught Chuck the value of hard work. Growing up in a working-class neighborhood, he spent much of his time playing sports at the Bay Ridge Boys Club. He especially loved baseball and dreamed of one day playing for the Brooklyn Dodgers. At age 14, Chuck's life took a major turn when his athletic talents caught the attention of scouts. He was offered an athletic scholarship to Adelphi Academy, a private high school in Brooklyn. He made the most of the opportunity, excelling in multiple sports: baseball, basketball, football, and track. As a first baseman, Chuck stood out, and by 1939, he was named one of the top high school baseball players in Brooklyn. After graduation, more than 25 colleges offered him athletic scholarships. He chose Seton Hall University in New Jersey, where he played both basketball and baseball. On the basketball court, he was a backup center, but it was baseball where he truly shined. In one memorable 1942 game, he hit 2 home runs and had 6 RBIs, catching the attention of professional scouts. It was during this time that he earned the nickname Chuck. While playing first base, he would yell, "Chuck it to me," and the name stuck. Chuck's college years were interrupted by World War II. In 1942, he joined the Army and trained at Fort Knox. Due to his height and athleticism, he became a tank warfare instructor and later worked at West Point, where he trained soldiers and even taught football players who would go on to win national championships. Despite his military duties, Chuck stayed connected to sports, playing semi-professional baseball in Brooklyn and professional basketball in the American Basketball League during his free time. After 3 years of service, he was honorably discharged in 1946. After the Army, Connors joined the Boston Celtics for their inaugural 1946 season. Standing 6 feet 5 inches, he played as a forward and center, appearing in 49 games and averaging 4.5 points per game. His best performance came on December 13, 1946, when he scored 15 points in a close win against the Providence Steamrollers. However, his basketball career was short-lived. In February 1947, just a few months into the season, Connors left the Celtics to pursue his baseball dreams. On May 1, 1949, Chuck finally got his big break with the Brooklyn Dodgers, but it didn't go as planned. In his only game, he hit into a double play, and the team lost. Still, he didn't give up. He continued in the minor leagues, playing for teams like the Montreal Royals. In 1951, he made it back to the majors with the Chicago Cubs. That season, he played 66 games and had several memorable moments, including 2 home runs against the New York Giants. By the end of the season, he had 48 hits and a .239 batting average. Not bad for someone juggling 2 sports careers. Chuck Connors' Hollywood story began in an unexpected way. In 1952, while playing for the minor league Los Angeles Angels, he hit a massive home run during a game against the Sacramento Solons. That home run caught the attention of Billy Gordon, a casting director from MGM, who was in the crowd. Struck by Chuck's tall, rugged appearance, Gordon approached him after the game and suggested he try acting. Initially, Chuck didn't take it seriously, but after a minor injury gave him some downtime, he decided to check it out. MGM offered him a screen test, and just 3 days later, he signed his first Hollywood contract. His first film role was a small part in Pat and Mike, a romantic comedy starring Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn. Though he played a police captain with only a few lines, it was a big deal for someone just starting out. Chuck was nervous on set, but nailed his scene in just 2 takes. Spencer Tracy even encouraged him, saying, "You've got something, stick with it." Those words gave Chuck the confidence to continue acting. From 1952 to 1958, Connors worked tirelessly, appearing in over 20 films. One of his most memorable early roles was in Disney's Old Yeller 1957, where he played Bern Sanderson. The film was a hit and helped Chuck gain recognition. He also acted in movies like Trouble Along the Way with John Wayne and The Big Country alongside Gregory Peck and Charlton Heston. At the same time, Connors appeared in 18 different television shows, an uncommon feat for actors back then. His dedication and versatility set the stage for the biggest role of his career. That opportunity came when producers of The Rifleman noticed his performance in Old Yeller. Initially, Chuck declined the offer due to lower pay, but the producers came back with a better deal, including a 5% ownership stake in the show. That convinced him. Connors began intense preparation, learning horseback riding and working with gun expert Rod Redwing to master rifle spinning techniques. He practiced until his hands were blistered to get the moves just right. The Rifleman premiered on September 30th, 1958, and was an instant hit, with over 14 million viewers tuning in to the first episode. Connors played Lucas McCain, a widowed father raising his son Mark, played by Johnny Crawford, in the Old West. The show stood out because of its strong family theme, something rare on TV at the time. McCain's strength, compassion, and moral integrity resonated with viewers, and critics praised Connors for bringing both toughness and heart to the role. The rifle itself became iconic, a modified Winchester 1892 with a large lever and a special screw in the trigger that allowed for rapid fire. Chuck's flashy spin moves became a signature moment at the start of every episode. Winchester even released a fan version of the rifle. But it wasn't just about action. The show's heart was in the father-son bond and its moral lessons, setting the Rifleman apart from other westerns of its era. Both parents gone, the Rifleman often explored the challenges Lucas McCain faced as a single father and protector. In one episode, he wrestled with the decision of whether to let Mark testify in court, fearing for his son's safety. In another, he had to manage his own anger while teaching Mark how to handle emotions. The father-son relationship between Lucas and Mark felt authentic and resonated deeply with viewers, especially single fathers, who often wrote to Chuck Connors expressing gratitude. One widower wrote, "Your show has given me the courage to keep going." Chuck Connors wasn't just a star of The Rifleman. He played a major role behind the scenes, too. By the second season, he began attending writers' meetings and pitching story ideas, some of which became fan-favorite episodes. One standout, The Photographer, was inspired by Connors' own experience with an overly enthusiastic fan during his baseball career. He also paid close attention to dialogue, ensuring Lucas McCain sounded like a real 19th century rancher, often rewriting lines to include period-accurate slang. Importantly, Connors didn't want McCain to appear as a flawless hero. He pushed for episodes that revealed the character's moral struggles and imperfections. In the episode Waste, for example, McCain accidentally kills an innocent man, a storyline Connors fought for because he believed it was crucial to show the burden of carrying a rifle. Connors also used his influence to support other actors. He brought in guest stars like his former baseball teammate Duke Snider and helped launch careers, including that of Dennis Hopper, who appeared in the pilot episode. By the show's final season, Connors had so much creative control that he was credited as a story consultant and even co-wrote the two-part series finale, ensuring it tied up loose ends and revisited key characters. The Rifleman was a massive success. Premiering on September 30th, 1958, it quickly became the fourth highest-rated show on television, reaching 14.6 million households, with a Nielsen rating of 33.1. Viewers were drawn in by the father-son bond. 78% of audiences said they tuned in for the emotional core, while 92% of men aged 18 to 49 loved the action. The show's popularity spurred a wave of merchandise, including toy rifles, lunchboxes, and comic books, which generated $2 million in sales within just 3 months of its premiere. It earned 3 Emmy nominations in its first season and remained a top program throughout its 5-year run, ranking 27th even in its final season. Decades later, the show retained its appeal, with a 2018 MeTV survey showing that it remained a favorite among viewers aged 55 and older. After The Rifleman ended in 1963, Chuck Connors faced a significant challenge. While the role of Lucas McCain had made him a household name, it also typecast him as a Western hero. With 168 episodes over 5 seasons, the public couldn't separate Connors from the character. Eager to break free, he turned down 8 Western TV pilots in just 2 years, hoping to showcase his range. But his efforts to move beyond McCain actually stalled his career. To fight the cowboy image, Connors tried a different kind of role in the 1964 romantic comedy move Over, Darling, playing a stiff banker opposite Doris Day and James Garner. It was a drastic change from his rugged screen persona, but the film didn't do much to shift perceptions. Producers still saw him as too Western. By 1965, Connors was so disheartened that he considered leaving acting and returning to professional sports. Still, he found new opportunities. In the TV series Arrest and Trial, 1963 to 1964, Connors played John Egan, a sharp defense attorney. The show was innovative, splitting each 90-minute episode into an investigative segment, followed by a courtroom drama. Wearing a suit instead of cowboy gear, Connors demonstrated his range and won praise from critics. However, the show was short-lived and canceled after 1 season. In 1965, Connors returned to Westerns, but with a twist. He starred in Branded, playing Jason McCord, a cavalry officer wrongly accused of cowardice and dishonorably discharged from the Army. The series focused on McCord's journey to redeem his name and reputation. Spanning 2 seasons and 48 episodes, the role allowed Connors to explore a more layered and emotionally complex character than his previous portrayals. Perhaps Connors' most powerful performance came in 1977, when he played Tom Moore in the groundbreaking miniseries Roots. The series, chronicling an African-American family's journey from slavery to modern times, featured Connors as a brutal plantation owner. It was a dramatic departure from his heroic roles, and his chilling performance earned him an Emmy nomination. Roots was a massive cultural event. Its finale was watched by nearly 100 million viewers, and Connors' role helped prove that he could tackle serious and controversial material with depth and nuance. In the later stages of his career, Connors appeared in B-movies and made numerous TV guest appearances. One of his most memorable roles came in the 1979 cult horror film Tourist Trap, where he played Mr. Slauson, a creepy museum owner surrounded by sinister mannequins. Though the film was initially successful, it later gained a cult following. Connors also ventured into science fiction, playing an alien fighting character in The Daytime Ended in 1980. On television, he made guest appearances in popular shows like Fantasy Island, The Love Boat, and Murder, She Wrote. From 1987 to 1988, he played the villainous Jano Skorzny in the horror action series Werewolf, revealing a darker side to his acting abilities. Chuck Connors' personal life mirrored the drama of his career. His first marriage was to model Elizabeth Jane Riddell, or Betty, whom he met in 1948 while playing for the Montreal Royals. They married on October 1, 1948, and had 4 sons, Michael, Jeffrey, Stephen, and Kevin. Early on, their life together appeared ideal, but Connors' rising fame, especially after the Rifleman, put strain on their relationship. He was frequently away, and rumors of infidelity surfaced. In 1961, Betty discovered he was having an affair with an actress. Devastated, she filed for divorce, finalized in 1962. It was later revealed that Betty had threatened to expose his affairs unless Chuck agreed to her terms during the separation. His second marriage came in 1963 to actress Kamala Devi, whom he met on the set of Geronimo. Born in Mumbai to mixed Indian and British heritage, Kamala brought a unique presence to Hollywood. Their interracial marriage was uncommon at the time and drew public attention. They appeared together in several shows and films, including Branded and Cowboy in Africa, and were admired for their chemistry both on and off screen. However, Kamala wanted Connors to pursue more sophisticated roles, while Connors felt his rugged image was his strength. This creative disconnect, along with ongoing rumors of infidelity, led to their divorce in 1972 after 9 years. Their final film together, The Proud and Damned, mirrored the sadness of their real-life parting. Chuck's third and shortest marriage was his most controversial. In 1973, he met actress Faith Quabius on the set of Soylent Green, where she had a small role. She was 33 years younger than Connors. They married on September 7th. In 1977, Chuck Connors married actress Faith Quabius in a private ceremony in Mexico. Chuck, then 56, joked that they had played husband and wife on stage so often that they decided to make it real. However, their marriage lasted only 3 years, ending divorce in 1980. After their split, Faith accused Chuck of being abusive during their relationship, blaming his drinking for his behavior. Although Chuck denied the allegations, the claims damaged his public image. Throughout his life, Connors was dogged by rumors of affairs and tumultuous relationships. Whispers of infidelity began during his first marriage and followed him for decades. One woman claimed to have had a long-term affair with Connors in the 1960s and alleged he fathered her child, though this was never proven. On set, Connors was known for his flirtatious nature. Actress Joan Crawford once said he could charm the birds from the trees, but couldn't stay loyal. His reputation for womanizing even cost him work, as some actresses reportedly refused to work with him. In one infamous 1975 incident, he was allegedly caught in a compromising position with a young actress at a party. While the scandal was hushed up, it reportedly cost him a major film role. His children from his first marriage later spoke about the toll his lifestyle had on the family. Jeffrey Connors shared that his father was always chasing thrills, which affected everyone around him. Despite the controversies, Connors rarely addressed the rumors. Near the end of his life, he reflected, "I've lived my life on my own terms. Some might not approve, but I have no regrets." Chuck Connors also held strong political views that set him apart in liberal-leaning Hollywood. In 1967, during a time when most in the industry opposed the Vietnam War, Connors joined a pro-war parade in New York City. He received both praise and criticism for his stance. Connors didn't just voice his beliefs, he backed them with action. He was a vocal supporter of Republican candidates, including Barry Goldwater during the 1964 presidential election, a move that hurt his career but didn't shake his convictions. He famously said, "I'd rather lose a job than give up my principles." In 1972, he was even asked to run for Congress, but he declined in favor of continuing his acting career. His support for the Vietnam War was particularly divisive in Hollywood. Connors not only marched in support of U.S. troops in 1967, but also publicly stated, "We're fighting communism over there, so we don't have to fight it here." His views sparked arguments with co-stars, including a heated debate with Charlton Heston during the filming of Soylent Green. Connors backed his word with action, visiting Vietnam multiple times between 1968 and 1972 to support the troops. After the war, he expressed sadness over the poor treatment of returning veterans, stating that they deserved parades, not protests. One of the most surprising aspects of Connors' legacy was his popularity in the Soviet Union. During the 1960s and 1970s, The Rifleman became one of the few American TV shows allowed on Soviet television. Audiences connected deeply with the character of Lucas McCain, a strong and fair father figure. By 1973, an estimated 250 million Soviets were watching the show, including Soviet leader Leonid Brezhnev, who was a huge fan. During a 1973 visit to Washington, D.C., Brezhnev requested to meet Connors. The meeting led to an extraordinary moment later that year when Brezhnev invited Connors to Moscow. Chuck spent 2 weeks there, treated like a celebrity. He met with Brezhnev at the Kremlin, and they even had a light-hearted shooting contest using rifles Chuck had gifted him. During his visit, Connors also attended a screening of The Rifleman, where fans went wild for his autograph. He filmed a documentary called Peace and Friendship, which aired on Soviet television, and showcased Connors engaging with everyday Soviet citizens and advocating for mutual understanding between the U.S. and USSR. A year before his death, Connors had one last special moment on screen. On November 3, 1991, he appeared in the TV movie The Gambler Returns, The Luck of the Draw, starring Kenny Rogers. Connors reprised his most iconic role as Lucas McCain in a short but powerful scene. Dressed in McCain's signature outfit, and holding the famous Winchester rifle, he challenged a gambler to a shooting contest. Though the scene lasted only about 90 seconds, it was a nostalgic moment for fans. The appearance was made even more special by the presence of Johnny Crawford, who played his son Mark in The Rifleman. Their brief but touching reunion delighted longtime viewers. The movie received high ratings and was a fitting tribute to Connor's most beloved role. In 1992, when Chuck Connors was 71, doctors diagnosed him with lung cancer, likely the result of his long-time smoking habit, which reportedly reached up to 3 packs a day. Fans were shocked, as Connors had always been seen as strong and vigorous. Initially, he kept his illness private and continued making public appearances. But by October 1992, his health declined rapidly. On October 28th, he was admitted to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, suffering from pneumonia that further complicated his condition. After a 13-day battle, Connors passed away on November 10, 1992. The official cause of death was lung cancer, with pneumonia as a major contributing factor. His death saddened many, and tributes poured in from co-stars, athletes, and fans alike. Chuck Connors left behind a powerful legacy. The Rifleman remains a beloved television classic, credited with shaping the portrayal of single fathers on screen and influencing future westerns. Beyond acting, Connors made history in sports. He was one of only 13 athletes to play in both Major League Baseball (MLB) and the National Basketball Association (NBA). In 1946, while playing for the Boston Celtics, he became the first player in history to break a backboard during warm-ups before the team's first home game. Though his baseball career was brief, he made an impact off the field as well. In 1966, he helped mediate a contract dispute between the Los Angeles Dodgers and star pitchers Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale, a key moment that empowered players in baseball contract negotiations. Chuck Connors lived boldly, left his mark in multiple fields, and will always be remembered for his rugged charm, enduring characters, and unwavering convictions.